It's okay. And if you need a break, just let me know, okay?
I was the first person out, so once the police officers came, I went out the classroom, and I remember seeing Christian, and by the door there was like a wall pillar, and I remember they sat me down, and that's when I had to call my mom. And then as I'm on the phone with her, I see Mason on the floor.
Did they take you to the hospital? How did you get to the hospital?
By an ambulance.
And where were you shot?
On my left shoulder.
Okay. Do you remember about how long you stayed in the hospital?
For about less than a week.
And did you have to have surgery on your shoulder?
Yes.
Can you tell me about how long it took before you could kind of have normal activities with your shoulder again?
About 6 months.
And was there anything that you weren't able to do that you normally did because of your shoulder injury?
Yes. Play soccer.
And were you on the soccer team?
Yes.
Did you, kind of as a result of what happened that day, is there anything that is more difficult for you, not talking about physical activities, but emotionally? Like, is there anything that is hard for you now, or that you feel like you've been affected by what happened that day?
I feel like just seeing a lot of, just seeing what I saw that day, it just sticks with me. And not being able to trust certain people, or like trust people.
And have you been in counseling since this happened?
Yes.
Yeah, and are you still in counseling?
Yes.
I don't have any further questions, Melanie.
Cross?
No questions.
All right. Thank you. You're free to go. State policy, please.
Now manipulate the screen up here.
Say it again.
Now manipulate the screen. I think because she had control of it, it kind of locked us out of changing things.
Yes, sir.
Yes, let me see the program lines. This will pull up and go. Okay. And Judge, we'll manipulate it from our computer from here on out, because I think once the witness stand touches it, we can't take it down.
Okay.
And the state calls Mary Martin. And then this will not go into evidence. This is just for reference. And Ms. Martin, if you'll go ahead and raise your right hand, Do you swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in the matter now pending before the court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right. If you can start just by introducing yourself, tell us your name and where you're employed.
My name is Mary Grace Talby, and I'm employed at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta at Arthur Blank Hospital.
Okay. And was your name previously Mary Martin? Have you since
Yes.
gotten married?
Yes.
All right. And what is your role there currently?
Currently, I'm an assistant nurse manager in the operating room.
And were you in a different position in September of 2024?
Yes.
And tell us what that was.
In September of 2024, I was a circulating nurse in the operating room.
Okay, and what does a circulating nurse do?
I assist with getting the operating room ready for procedures based on what the case is, equipment, supplies, meds.
Gotcha. And can you tell us just very briefly your professional and educational background that led you to these positions?
Yes. I started with a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, and then I passed the National Licensing Exam for Registered Nurses, the NCLEX, and then I completed a perioperative program that prepares nurses to work in the operating room.
All right. And I'm going to turn your attention to the afternoon of September 4th of 2024. Were you working on that day?
Yes.
And what shift were you working?
I was working 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
And on that date, did you participate in the care of Melanie Delira Castaneda?
Yes.
What was your role in her care?
I was the circulating nurse in the operating room for her procedure.
Okay. And did you interact with Melanie before she went into surgery?
Yes.
And can you tell us a little bit about what you remember regarding her demeanor?
I remember she was very quiet, sad, tearful.
Okay. And as the circulating nurse, were you also present during her surgical procedure?
Yes.
And Judge, at this time, we're going to tender into evidence State's Exhibit 70. These are Melanie Delira Castaneda's medical records. We have the business records certification here. And the records themselves are electronic. I also have, which I previously showed the defense attorney for reference, the relevant excerpts from the medical records for the witness to refer to.
Any objection to 70?
No objection, Judge. I don't think those would go back to the jury. I think they're a little better.
All right, we'll discuss all the issues about continuing business or otherwise.
Yes.
Prior to seeing this out, but I'll make a note.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you, Judge. Starting with the first page on the relevant portions you have printed out for reference, can you start under patient demographics and tell us this patient's name and date of birth?
Yes. Melanie Delira Castaneda, and birth date is June 4th, 2009.
And on that same page, will you tell us what her admission diagnosis was?
A gunshot wound, arm.
Okay. Now going over to the next page that you have, it's labeled page 5. Can you tell us what her final diagnoses were?
Yes. Other displaced fracture of upper end of left humerus, initial encounter for open fracture, puncture wound without foreign body of left shoulder, initial encounter, anxiety disorder, unspecified.
All right, next I'm going to refer you to the next page, which is page 19. Can you tell us what time Melanie arrived that day?
1:30 p.m.
And what was the acuity of the patient listed as?
High risk.
Once she was there, can you tell us what service she was being provided at that facility?
Yes. Pediatric surgery.
Okay. And on the same page under procedure, can you tell me what's described?
Yes. Irrigation and debridement extremity with splint placement and wound vac placement.
And I'm going to take you to the next page, which is labeled as page 285. And can you tell us what the surgeon's findings were that were documented there?
Yes. Posterior entrance, anterior exit wound of left shoulder with significant damage to anterior deltoid musculature, fragmentation of the bone with significant peristeel stripping.
All right. And I know you're not the surgeon yourself, but can you give us kind of just a basic concept of what this procedure was?
Basic concept would be patient came in with a gunshot wound that came in through the back shoulder and exited through the front without any bullet fragments remaining.
Okay. I'm next going to take you to the next page. It's labeled page 23. And did Melanie then have a subsequent surgical procedure 2 days later on September 6th?
Yes.
And was she still inpatient at that time?
Yes.
And can you read what's listed under procedure on the September 6th surgery?
Yes. Irrigation and debridement, left humerus with closure, irrigation and debridement, incision and drainage of skin, subcutaneous tissue, muscle, and bone for open fracture, open reduction and application of a coaptation splint, complex wound closure after ellipsing out of the necrotic tissue. Total wound length was 6 centimeters. Open reduction, internal fixation, extremity upper.
Okay. And very basically put, was this essentially a follow-up procedure to the September 4th procedure?
Yes.
Okay. Turning to page 261, when was Melanie discharged?
September 7th, 2024.
And lastly, I'm going to take you over to page 275. Prior to her discharge, did she have a psychology consultation?
Yes.
And on the very last page of your reference material, tell us about what Melanie reported regarding her anxiety.
When asked about whether patient was feeling more anxious since incident, patient stated, "I have anxiety, but it is worse since I got hurt."
Okay. No further questions from the state. The defense may have some questions for you.
Charles?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. You're free to go. State calls next witness.
The state calls Nautica Walton, and Judge, this next witness is a juvenile.
All right. So to the media, same instructions, no recording, photographing, or otherwise the juvenile space.
I guess more accurately put was a juvenile at the time.
Hi, Nautica. I'm going to have you raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. I'm going to start by having you introduce yourself, and by that I mean just tell us your name, and if you'll spell your first name, you can put your hand down. Yeah.
My name is Nautica Walton, Nautica.
All right. And Nautica, how old are you?
18,
Tell us when you turned 18.
January 31st.
All right. Well, happy late birthday.
Thank you.
And what school do you go to?
Apalachee.
All right, Nautica, what grade are you in right now?
I'm in 10.
Okay, so were you in 9th grade during the 2024-2025 school year?
Yes.
And did you also go to Apalachee for that school year?
Yes.
And were you at school on September 4th of 2024?
Yes.
Who did you have for second period?
Miss Ryan.
Okay. And Nautica, we're going to pull up your seating chart from your class, and we just want you to confirm that where we have you on the seating chart is where you were sitting that day. Do you see your name on there?
Yes.
Okay. And is that where you were sitting on September 4th of 2024?
Yes.
All right. So Nautica, I want you to tell me about when you first realized something was wrong that day.
Like from second period?
Yes, ma'am.
When I had like entered the classroom and we were like sitting down for a couple of minutes, when I heard like a loud bang, that's when I noticed something was wrong.
Okay. And tell us what you remember seeing and hearing after that first bang.
When the first bang went off, I remember my teacher falling to the floor, and then Taylor in front of me. I remember seeing her fall down before I turned around and saw there was somebody at the door with a weapon, and then everybody else like fell down to the floor and like kind of ran closer to Miss Ryan and like gathered against the wall.
Okay. How long did it feel like there was shooting going on in the classroom to you?
I don't really know. It felt like it was like kind of fast, but at the same point, it felt like we were in there for a long time.
Okay. And after it stopped, what do you remember?
I remember Miss Ryan pulling me, Natalie, and Melanie to the side of the room and checking us to see if we're okay. And I remember Mr. Edwards and Mr. Edwards and Tyler going to the door to like barricade it. I remember Melody, she had blood all on her arm. I remember her blood was like getting on the side of me because I was like kind of like laying on the side of her.
And take your time, Nautica.
I remember my teacher telling me to stay awake because I was really, really tired and I couldn't keep my body up. I remember Natalie laying on the floor saying that she was hit and crying with a big puddle of blood. And I remember just really like, I felt like a really hot spot at the bottom of my leg, and then I reached down and noticed that I got hit, and then my friend Brittany took off her jacket and wrapped it around my leg, and then I passed out after that.
Okay. And Nautica, were you able to, or did you try to call anyone?
I called my mom a couple times as soon as it happened. Our book bags were still at our seats. Usually when we first enter the class, Miss Ryan takes them up and put them behind her desk. But that day, me and Brittany kept our phones in our book bag. So after the incident had happened, I asked Brittany to get my phone while everything was going on because I couldn't move my body. I remember her crawling on the floor to go get it and bringing it back to me. And I called my mom several times, but I couldn't hear anything because everything was so muffled.
Okay. So were you having trouble hearing after the shooting?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to show a few pictures to you. Did you look at these pictures before to make sure you recognized them?
Yes.
Same ones. And are those accurate pictures of your clothes that day?
Yes.
All right. Judge, we would tender into evidence States Exhibits 94 through 97.
No objection.
94 through 97 are good.
All right, what we're going to do, we're going to pull up versions of that picture on the screen so everybody can see, and we're just going to have you tell us what we're looking at.
Those are my jorts.
Okay. And did they have to cut those off you when they were providing you medical assistance?
Yes.
Okay. And we'll show you, and that's 94. We'll pull up the next one. Is that the back of those same shorts?
Yes.
Okay. And I see a mark on there. Is that blood from your injury?
Yes.
Okay. And then we'll pull up 90. That's 95. We'll pull up 96. Is that a closer picture of those same shorts?
Yes.
And we'll pull up 97. And is that the inside of those shorts, that same spot from the injury?
Yes.
Okay. And Nautica, do you remember how you left from the school?
I remember being like dragged out in the hallway. I was kind of in and out of it, but I do remember like them cutting, like the emergency people like cutting up my clothes and like putting this like really tight bandage around my leg, and then putting me on a stretcher and carrying me out to the ambulance. And then once I got out there, I passed out again, and I woke back up when I was in the ambulance and we were driving.
All right. And who else was in the ambulance with you?
Melanie.
Okay. And this injury to your leg, does it still affect you to this day?
Yes.
Tell me how.
I can't play any sports because it messes with my nerve. My leg gives out sometimes. I have like random flares. When it's really cold outside, it's like kind of hard for me to function because like my leg gives up sometimes and stuff like that. So I don't do sports or anything.
Okay. And is that something that you used to enjoy doing that you haven't been able to do?
Yeah.
Okay. How has this affected you mentally and emotionally since this happened?
I'm very paranoid. I don't like being in front of the doors at school. I don't use the bathroom at school. I always stay with somebody very closely. After the incident happened a couple months after, I had nightmares, like mostly every night. I say I became kind of more distant from my friends, and I kind of became more depressed and like sometimes wanting to harm myself.
All right. I don't have any more questions for you, Nautica. Thank you so much. I'll come get those pictures from you.
Carlos?
No question, Judge.
All right. Thank you. State calls next.
State calls Nick Ridge.
Good morning. I'm going to go ahead and have you raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in the matter now pending before the court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
All right, you can put your hand down, and if you'll just introduce yourself to the jury and tell us where you're employed.
My name's Nick Ridge, and I work at Northside Gwinnett in Lawrenceville.
Okay. And in what capacity do you work in Northside Gwinnett?
I'm a registered nurse.
All right. How long have you been a registered nurse?
March of 2020, about 5 years.
And where did you go to school?
Nursing, I did Augusta University.
Okay. And what are your current duties as an RN there?
Currently, I'm a critical care float nurse, so I work in the ICU and the ER.
And were you working there in the same capacity on September 4th of 2024?
No, at that time, I was a team lead in the ER and a trauma nurse.
All right. Turning your attention specifically to the afternoon of September 4th of 2024, were you working on that date?
I was.
And what shift were you working?
7A to 7P.
And did you participate in the care of Nautica Walton?
I did.
All right, I'm going to introduce under the business records exception into evidence Nautica Walton's medical records. The records are electronic on the hard drive. This is State's Exhibit 93, and this is the business record certification. And I'm going to provide for your reference some printed out relevant portions from those records.
Any objection to that?
Same objection, Judge, as to going out to the jury. We'll discuss that later.
Ma'am, please submit it in evidence.
So regarding Nautica Walton, what role did you have in her treatment?
I was the primary trauma nurse that day.
All right. I'm going to get you to speak up just a little
Sorry.
bit. You're fine. There's a microphone right in front of you. So referring you first to that first page is labeled page 5 of the records. Can you give us her full name and her age as of September 4th of 2024?
Nautica Walton, 16-year-old.
And what time did she arrive that day?
11:17 a.m.
Now, going over to page 6 of those records, can you tell us what the reason was for her hospital visit?
A leg gunshot wound.
Okay. Now, I'm going to have you turn to the next page. It should be labeled page 14 of those records. Can you read what was documented under history of present illness?
Sure. Trauma Jasper 14 is a 16-year-old female patient assigned to room trauma 1 who presents to the ED with a gunshot wound to her left thigh. Per EMS, the patient was shot with an assault rifle but unknown caliber. EMS states that the patient was ANO4 on scene and bleeding was controlled. EMS reports her most recent blood pressure was 92/56. The patient currently rates her pain at 10 out of 10.
Okay. And what's ANO by 4?
Alert and oriented.
On the next page, page 15, can you tell us what was documented under lower extremity?
Yeah. Penetrating injury to the posterior mid-thigh, no active bleeding, abrasion to the left proximal buttock and left upper thigh. Full range of motion, pulses, and sensation are normal.
Okay. And did Nautica also get an x-ray?
Yes. X-ray showed, preliminary interpretation was done by Dr. James Smith. It showed no fractures or dislocations, no soft tissue abnormality, no bony abnormality, metal or metallic bullet fragments present.
Okay, so are those metallic bullet fragments something that would show up on an x-ray?
Yes.
Okay. Going over to page 62, I believe that's the last page of that packet you have. Can you tell us what her spiritual care assessment narrative described about Nautica while she was at Northside Gwinnett?
Sure. Nautica was shocked by her traumatic situation. She was joined by her foster mother and caseworker as well as foster siblings, ones that were in the same school. Nautica could not speak of what happened as she seemed to still be in shock. I made sure to turn the lights down, speak softly, and walked her through a meditation. We used breathing exercises and I held her hand. Later, I spoke with the next of kin to make sure that you use low lights and speak softly. I also mentioned the shocked state to the BH team. I also offered advocacy, presence, support, and prayer. Patients seemed to shake less and breathe deeper.
Thank you. And lastly, was Nautica able to be discharged that day?
She was.
All right. No further questions from me.
Ross?
No question, Judge.
All right, thank you, sir. You're ready to go.
Thank you.
State call stand, please.
State calls Taylor Jones.